If you are looking to hire a PPC agency and you're struggling to determine the different criteria that you should be looking at in order to know if a PPC agency is a right fit for your business in terms of knowing what to do and how to align themselves with your business goals, I'm going to be talking about different key factors that I would look for in a PPC agency if I were to be hiring this year. What are the different things that I would be specifically looking for? Because the truth is, you've got a lot of options. So you can go the freelancer or agency route, but across that, you've got hundreds of thousands of different options and lots of different providers with multiple different pricing options, making all different types of promises. And the truth is, this industry is unregulated, so people can say whatever they want in order to get your business. And I just put together this video so that you know the different most important factors you should be evaluating on as you are doing your research and hiring a PPC agency. So the first thing that I would look at is proof of concept, case studies, or results in your niche. Does this agency or freelancer have experience working in your niche? Do they have case studies or proof that they have been able to get strong results in another market for your specific type of business? If the answer is no, that doesn't mean you shouldn't work with them, but still potentially proceed with caution. And if they don't, ask them what case studies they do have to share with you and something that might be similar, especially if they've been a large agency with multiple different clients. They've got to have something that's similar if it's not exactly in your niche. So that's one of the factors that I would look at. The next thing is clear strategy and platform expertise. Does this agency know what needs to be done in order to get me better results? Have they taken a look at my account in order to identify what the gaps are, where the blind spots are? Now, I don't think that you should necessarily expect a free audit, but if they care enough and they want to at least show you that they can think strategically, they're going to want access to your Google Ads account. Read-only access is sufficient to look at their starting point. Where are they starting from in terms of taking your account from where it is to where you want it to go? What is the strategy? What's the roadmap that they are outlining for you in order to get you from destination A to Z? And on top of that, do they have platform expertise? I know this sounds pretty ridiculous. Platform expertise meaning, do they have expertise in Google and Bing? And not just having certifications. In fact, I personally don't necessarily believe in certifications because they're just so easy to BS these days. I have a video on whether Google Ads certifications really matter. I'll drop that in the description below for you to check out. But platform expertise, do they know how to navigate the platform? Do they know the type of bidding strategies and ultimately strategies that should be applied to your account in order to see success? And this can be judged through an audit or just some type of review. Also, too, if they're not willing to give you an audit, whether it's free or paid, then it's going to be really hard to judge how they think. So I think it's going to be important for you to see how they think, and if they're using a lot of jargon and lingo, are they able to break it down in a layman's terms for you to actually understand? Another really important thing that I see in terms of the importance of hiring a PPC agency is business alignment. Are the KPIs that they're going to be reporting on, key performance indicators or metrics, aligning with your goals? I have seen lots of PPC agencies just report on click-through rate, cost per click, and while that might seem like it's a good metric. Those might seem like good metrics. Honestly, that doesn't help with the actual profit and loss of your business. So are they trying to align what you're trying to achieve with PPC to their profit and loss? Are they reporting on actual return on ad spend? Are they reporting on cost per lead, leads, qualified leads, and so forth? You need to ask what is the main metric or main metrics that they're going to be reporting on, and how that aligns with your P&L in order to ensure that there's no miscommunication in the very end. And this is where a lot of frustration comes, because there's some agencies or freelancers that just report on vanity metrics, but then the business is like, well, that's not really helping my bottom. I'm not seeing an improvement in my bottom line, even though you're improving my click-through rate. That's not helping with my actual revenue. So make sure that you guys are aligned in terms of what's important. And if they are not willing to talk about the important business factors, that's definitely a red flag. The next thing is bulletproof tracking methodology. In 2026, it's super critical to have a bulletproof tracking mechanism when it comes to PPC. There's a lot of different factors in play right now that's making it more difficult to track conversions properly, and that is really important for Google's AI to identify the right type of leads to feed. And where I'm going with this is, do they have a methodology to track beyond just phone calls and form submissions? Are they using more advanced tactics like offline conversion tracking? Are they tracking phone calls that exceed a certain amount of time and not just any phone call? Are they taking it to the step that they need to be in order for you to actually see what's happening? There's just so many factors right now in the PPC industry that's blocking an agency's or freelancers' ability to see the real conversions coming through. So what methodologies do they have in place to ensure that the conversion tracking is populating correctly and that you're getting the right data in order to feed Google's AI so that you can get better results? The next thing is ownership and accountability. Very, very important here. Who owns the account when they manage it, or who owns it if you were to end the relationship? Who owns the account? And also understanding accountability. So let's talk about ownership for a second. Sometimes I come across agencies, if in their agreement they set up a Google Ads campaign or account for you, whatever they set up, if you were to end the agreement, then that campaign or account belongs to the agency, and they can take it away at any time, delete it, whatever. I personally believe that that's a very unethical way to run things. But if it's in an agency's agreement, just make sure that you're reading your contracts very carefully and who actually owns the Google Ads account. And that should belong to you because that's a business asset. If you're to sell your business, that asset should go with the business. So that is also a key factor that you need to be identifying. If they do not allow you to take the Google Ads account, if you were to end the relationship, then definitely don't work with them. And then also on top of that, accountability. Who's going to be the one managing the account? If you're talking to a salesperson, they're most likely not going to be the one managing the account. They are probably going to be decorating their words, adding a lot of embellishment in order to ultimately sell you. But I think what is going to be important is for you to meet the team that's going to be managing the account. Not just the senior person, but the person that's actually spending day to day in your account. That should be who you meet with, to think, to see how they strategically think, how they would manage your account, and so forth, because that's going to be really important. That person is going to be the one that's feeding the reporting team or account manager all of the information that you are going to be seeing. So the account manager might not necessarily be the one managing the account. And honestly, if you are at a point where you're hiring an agency that has a separate account manager versus campaign manager, you might as well just have a meeting with all of them and just evaluate based off of the strategy that you're hearing and what they would do to improve it. So important key here is making sure that you meet whoever is going to be spending the day-to-day within your account, and also understand how they think, how they work, and also understand what's their workload. Do they have 50 accounts that they're managing? I think anything more than 10 accounts is a lot. But it also depends on the ad spend too. So, and they might not be completely honest with you as well. So just look out for that as you are evaluating. Something else too is a strong POV and expectation management. Do they have a strong point of view on different factors within Google Ads? Do they have a POV on broad match, smart bidding? Do they have a POV on performance max for lead gen? Do they have a POV on call tracking and bulletproof conversion tracking methodology? If they don't, you might also want to have just have a little bit of caution there, because if they can't think for themselves, they most likely won't be able to think for you. And are they also setting the right expectations? And you probably won't know that from the get-go, but understanding, are they saying that they're going to be able to get you results in 2 weeks? Are they saying that they're going to be able to get results in 3 months? Usually the sweet spot that I see in terms of getting results is probably like 45 to 90 days. If it's anything less than that, I wouldn't say that they're lying to you, but I would just say that it does depend on your ad spend level. But if it's anything less than 2 weeks, you might also want to proceed with caution. But I think most agencies are going to say it's going to be at least 90 days, unless they're just really desperate to get your business. So understand what the expectation is, and also understand what's the communication rhythm going to be. Are they going to set something up and get back to you within 2 weeks, 2 months? Understand how soon you can expect responses from them. Now, don't be an annoying client and say, well, I want to hear from you within 2 hours of my every email that I send. I mean, that's not really realistic, especially if they're managing other accounts. They have a business to run at the end of the day. But as long as they're setting the expectation, they're getting answers back to you in a reasonable time. You won't know this until you start working with them. But during this vetting phase, if they're taking a really long time or they ghost you, that's a clear sign that they're probably not a good fit. And then lastly here, I would also look at the agency's digital real estate. So we talked about proof of concept case studies, results in your niche. What do their reviews say? Do they have Trustpilot? Do they have Google My Business? Do they have a Yelp? And just because they don't have it doesn't mean that they're not a legitimate company, but do they have actual testimonials? Do they have video, written? I mean, written testimonials, they are a lot easier to fake than video. Videos are a lot more realistic, but I mean, even these days with AI, testimonials could be potentially fake too. But beyond testimonials and reviews, what are they posting on their social media accounts? Are they doing ads for themselves? And just because they're not doesn't mean that they're not a good fit, because they might be getting referral sources from other places. But are they posting content with a strong point of view? Are they sharing their thoughts and how they manage different accounts? What are they doing? Do they have a YouTube channel where they're posting tutorials and sharing their thoughts and thought leadership? Do they have a blog? Look at those things to also determine whether you align with them or not. If they don't have any digital real estate, it's not necessarily a red flag, but it's kind of strange, especially in this day and age with how important it is to be posting content and showing your POV. If they can't show you their POV through the vetting process, and you don't actually see any actual content being posted with a strong thought leadership out of it, then it's most likely that they're probably not going to be able to think strategically for you. So these are the key things that I would look at in order to hire a PPC agency. These are very critical factors. I think also to understanding who's responsible for what, and understanding that the PPC agency would only be able to help you go so far as to capture leads and send the leads to you. Some have different models, and this is specifically for lead gen. So if you're looking for e-commerce, you can apply this to what you to your business. But if you're looking for a PPC agency that really goes above and beyond, definitely to look for one that will also help to identify where things could potentially go wrong after the leads are sent, with connecting the CRM, looking at the quality of the leads and not just the quantity of them, and aligning it back with the business alignment and the right metrics to be tracking is critical. So that's what I have for you in this video. If you're looking for managed services or an audit and you are interested, feel free to check out the link below, and I'd be more than happy to have a discussion with you. I post videos about Google Ads every week, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.